Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and the time is 5:30 because, again, I have the inability to sleep the whole night like a baby. But I woke up like half an hour ago. I don't think I'm going to get back to bed, so I'm just going to chill out in my room for a bit. I'm not going to work yet, but if I just chill out now, maybe at 7 o'clock I can start working, which would be earlier than normal, and I guess I'll update you then. But I thought I obviously had to show the fact that it's stupid time and I'm still not sleeping as I was in the last video. It's 8:30 now. I've done some exercise, I've obviously woken up, had a shower, everything, and now I'm having my breakfast. I've run out of milk. I'm having cereal with water. People say on YouTube you've got to show the ups, the downs, you've got to show the realities of life, and this is the reality. I've run out of milk, I can't be bothered to go to the shop, so I'm having water. To be fair, I have had water and cereal before, at home, even when there's been milk in the fridge, so it's something I kind of do. But there we go, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm having Weetabix, home brand kind of Jordans and strawberries. Side point, I'm watching this the day after the last video's gone out, and I can't believe how much slander I've got for having a banana. I assure you, I eat a regular amount of bananas. I'm not a banana fiend, I don't have 3 a day, I probably have like 2 a week, 3 a week. Someone said I had an addiction to bananas, someone said I peel them really aggressively, but you will not stop me having my bananas either, so I'm going to put my banana into my cereal as well. After this, I think I'm just going to go to the library and probably work all day. Some of the other classicists have said, because the essay is due on a Wednesday now, and it was due on a Tuesday last term, it feels like for them they have an extra day, because I guess they start on the same day as they did last term and just have an extra day to finish it off. But I don't feel like that's the case for me. At least this week, I'm starting today on Sunday, so I have 4 days to do it, and probably last time I probably would have started on Saturday, so I would have had 4 days to do it. But who knows, I had a busy day yesterday, of which I'm still definitely riding off the buzz and high of, so that was definitely a very good decision not to work and enjoy the whole day. And of course last week I had collections on the Saturday, the exams, so then I chilled out for the rest of the day and barely even worked on Sunday either. But that was the commentary, so that was kind of the shorter essay. This week I've got to do the actual essay. But we'll see how it goes. The other thing is now, we're in first week, well I guess second week now really, and I really need to take it seriously. So last week I kind of chilled on my language work because I was just getting back into it, and collections I did quite a lot of work for, the language as well. Then it was the first essay where we ended a few days, and then I had the days off afterwards to just chill out, and busy Thursday of all the contact hours and the tutorial, busy Friday to edit the video, and then Saturday all that stuff that we did yesterday. So today I think the first plan I'm going to do of work is some language work, so that's improving my Greek, maybe look at Latin as well, and then I'll do the essay and revising for the tutorial separately. So that's the plan. Let me finish my cereal with water. I'll see you soon. First one here, probably 9 o'clock now. Maybe surprising, maybe not. Anyway, it is a Sunday, 9 o'clock. So here we have a time lapse of me doing this work in the library, and you might just be able to see the clock in the back to prove that it is actually as early as I say. But what I was doing in this time when I was working was doing our weekly Greek homework. We have 1 hour of Greek a week and we get some homework set, and I like to try and spread it out over a few days. Because we only have 1 contact hour of it, I feel like you get more done if you spread it out and you learn more, as opposed to just cramming it all the day before. So this is one thing I was trying to do. We just had some sentences, and you can see me looking up the right words as well to put into our sentences. But I could set up the time-lapse perfectly as well, because there was no one else around, so I was pretty pleased with how it turned out. It's now like 10:15, and I'm making some progress with my Greek, but there's still no one in here. And in the Levine building, as I've shown you, there are some other rooms like the cafe where people are working, and in the proper library, sort of down there, and also the downstairs part of the library. But I get it, it's such a no-brainer to work here. It's light, it's airy, it's by far my favourite place. Well, it's brilliant for me, it's like my little private room. So I really don't get why no one else is using it, and in my opinion, using parts of the library that are way more horrible to work in. But I guess each to their own, and I'll go back to work, enjoying the fact that it is really just me in all of this lovely space. It's 12:45 now. I'm making good progress with the reading for the essay. What I've noticed from this tutor is that clearly every single week we're building on stuff from the last week. So right now we're basically looking at book 2, that's to say chapter 2 of kind of text. So last time was a theme that was very predominant in book 1, and now we're looking at book 2 and a bit of book 3. I've looked over the future weeks, and that's something that will continue. So something we didn't have last term. And that is quite fun because especially as someone who doesn't know it that well, you're starting to really build it up chronologically, so it makes a lot of sense. So that's a good thing. A few more people have come into the room now, which is good. but I really just do enjoy the room. I think it's made a massive difference to my college experience, and I've swapped around the desks a bit so I'm not sitting in exactly the same space, but I hope it doesn't become like this building here, where I did enjoy it for the first few weeks, but then I got bored of it very quickly, because that building is not going to change. That one's going to be there for a while. Where is it? We could just kind of see it there, that one there. But no, I think it is really good, and I think I will really enjoy it. I'm in the library now trying to get a book, and it's interesting because we're no longer in the Greek section. We're now in the Latin section, so it's a different part of the library for the books this time.
Please check the bagging area.
Oh, that's right, cheers, thank you very much. It's 11:30, just gone to dinner with some people, which was very nice, and then I chilled afterwards. In my head, I was half going to maybe work afterwards, and I didn't do that. I chilled with some second years, which is always fun. You feel super cool, hanging out with the old kids, even though they're literally my age because I took a gap year. Tomorrow, I'm really going to take it very seriously and really get my head in gear, which it has been already, but particularly with the language work, because that's something I need to do a bit more of, I think, this term. I've worked out how to do the tutorials well. I'll get on the language work as well. But there we go. I'll update you Monday morning. It's currently 1 a.m. and I am actually having a bowl of cereal. I went out to buy milk today, so I'm having my bowl of cereal with milk. I actually get skim milk. I just like it. I think it's an Oxford thing. But I'm having some 1 a.m. food. I'll enjoy it and then go to bed. Good morning, everyone. It's 9:55 on Monday. Going to 10 o'clock Latin now. Last week I said I was going to go earlier, but I'm not actually, because he's got a class before. We just have to wait outside the room, so I'm completely fine. And actually he really does start at 5 past, no earlier, even if people are there, so I'm absolutely fine. But it's the official start of week 2 because it's Monday, and I'm going to change a few things up. I feel I say this a lot, but yes, I'm actually going to do more language stuff. I think I'm going to do an extra 1 hour of language a day compared to what I was doing, and I'll split that up between different parts of Greek or Latin as I need. I could be that guy who says, I'm going to do 1 hour of Latin, 1 hour of Greek, and another hour of our set text, so 3 extra hours. But I think I'll just stick with an hour. An hour's very doable, and I'll split it up how I need, because I think I'm way more likely to get it done if I say an hour than commit to loads of different stuff. But that's the plan, because I've got my lecture at 12 today, as you know, the Monday lectures. That's an hour in between after I finish my lesson at 11. I'm just going to probably do my hour of language in my college then, and then I can get out of the way. Of course it'll be a bit shorter because I have to walk to the lecture and stuff, but that's the plan. Latin, actual work, lecture. My lecture was actually at the same place my 8:45 was, so 8:45 I was there, then I had to come all the way back to college just to soon quickly go back to the same place, but what to do, and I thought I would try and do some work in between back at college because may as well. Just came back and, as you saw in that time lapse, did a bit of work before now I'm going to go to the lecture with the other classicists from my college, and it's surprising, you can actually get a lot of work done in it now, because I remember last week we just hung around, me and my friend from my Latin class, but actually if you come back to the college and do some work, you get an hour of work done. Who would have thought, an hour break? But yeah, definitely very productive, and off to the lecture now. Quick detour to my room to get my key, all ready now. So here we are in the building where I have my lecture, and also the 8:45 as I've talked about, and slightly different room, but plenty of rooms in this building. It's called Exam Schools, actually. But after the lecture, I met someone in the lecture who I knew from Wadham College, which is this one here, and she took me round. So I had actually been to Wadham last term, but I'd never filmed it. So here we have the front quad, and Wadham also has some really nice gardens. And my friend was telling me how they have sort of tree club every 2 weeks or something like that, where they talk about a different type of tree each time, because they have that many. We also met the college dog, which is really cool. She's called Maggie May. And it's always a successful visit to a college if you get to meet the college pet. So after the lecture, I hung around a bit with Maggie May until I went back to Trinity again. I've just come back from my lecture and been to Wadham College, which is just, we can see over there with my friend. Honestly, that lecturer is so good. He's just funny. I went to a few lectures last term, but they weren't good. But this guy's really cool. Really like him. It was even better than last week, probably. And then we went around Wadham, which was really nice. But it's now 1:45, slightly later than I wanted to, but I'm going to go work now. One thing that I've just realised, this whole time I've been putting in the numbers, the whole time, but actually you don't have to do anything. If you just leave it, then just pull the door, no matter if you put any numbers in or not. I don't know how long it's been like this for. I've been putting in my numbers the whole time, every time to get into my staircase. In the evening, my friend and I made garlic bread and pizza, And by made, I mean we bought it from Tesco's, but he had a club card, and so we got special garlic bread, which came much cheaper on club card, and it was alright. I wouldn't necessarily get fooled by the club card price again, but it was our dinner. It's 8 o'clock, but this week I'm definitely approaching the essay differently. I saw some people in the comments talk about it as well last week, and I said I kind of make all my notes kind of very bullet pointed at sort of the word limit anyway, and then at the end I just tie into nice English. But this time I think I'm going to just try and miss out that middle step. And the idea is hopefully I'll save a lot of time doing that, which I can devote to other parts, which I think I need to spend more time on, and I do want to be cutting down how much time I'm spending on the essay. So hopefully it doesn't make my essay much worse, but that's the plan. I've got my rough notes from the reading now, and I know kind of what I want to say, and I think I'm just going to go straight ahead to say it, as opposed to planning out very nicely. So we'll see how that goes, but that's the plan for an hour. And so I think I might be in a position where I'll say something like, oh, I've done 1/3 of the writing, which I always found weird when people said, because I would, go through, and the last bit is just when you do all the writing together. But going to change it up this week, see how it goes. That's the whole point of these essays, right? To see how they go, try them out. I'm back from Latin now, and I'm heading to the library. I'm not going to change it too much. I'm still going to finish my essay before I do any language, or that's the idea anyway. But hopefully it will be way less stressful. I definitely haven't felt today like, it's essay day, you've got to finish the essay. Just to change your mentality, just being like, yeah, it's a small thing I'll do, and I'll do some other language stuff as well. And hopefully that also means I'll finish it a lot quicker. But into the library now. So what's happened today apart from Latin? We had a new tutorial, and this was about Greek translation. And if you saw my week 0 video, my week 0 vlog, I talked about how our tutors are very keen on exam technique, and often they speak to us about different things like which pens to use, what food to have before an exam, all this kind of thing that I've never thought about before, but they really tell you what to do. This is exactly what this one was for how to approach a translation. We basically got a translation. It wasn't actually this one, but this will do for purpose. And our tutor was basically talking to us about how to approach this. Because once you see a bit of Greek like this, there's no help with English or context or anything like that. Maybe you have an author and a line number or, something like that. We were just told how to do it. And what I would normally do is I would just pick out the bits I could do, write them in my answer booklet, leaving blanks, for all the lines I can't do, come back to them. But it was interesting because he told us to basically do the opposite, which is, it's a thinking exam, not a writing exam. So if you've got 45 minutes to do a translation of 20 lines, spend most of that time, let's say 40 minutes, just thinking about it, maybe making small notes on the actual question paper, but not writing your full translation until the end, where you basically write it all the way through. It's just a conceptual difference that's very interesting to think about, and something that we're going to try to do with him in the next few weeks. So I was expecting this translation class to be about improving our translation, but I guess that's what the Greek language classes are for, and the Latin languages by extension. But this was just about kind of exam technique again, how to prepare us for it. So that was really cool. My next tutorial is going through our collections with these exams in week 0. So again, do go back to that if you want to see exactly what collections are and how I found them. But we've got one of our papers back, which is actually where I got this from. This is my collections, 2 translations, and then some of the other stuff as well. But we're going to go through this now with a new tutor that I haven't had before last term, haven't had so far this week. So that'd be nice to kind of meet him as well. But on the note of work, let's talk briefly about the tutorial yesterday, or kind of that bit where we were meeting the new tutor to go through our collections. If you don't know, collections are these exams you do before you come back to Oxford and start the term. So you come back a few days early for these college-administered tests to check your progress over the holidays, stuff like that. And I worked quite hard. I was a bit stressed about them, but he gave us back our marks, which were all fine. But he also told us that it's not so important. He talked about the difference between formative and summative marks. Summative basically meaning they count at some point, and formative just means it's, helping you develop until you come to your important exams that actually count for your degree. And at least for classics, and I think most other courses, probably in general, maybe apart from medicine, but I'm not too sure, your only summative exams technically that actually count are your last ones in the last year. And often you'll have some other technically summative exams halfway through. So for example, after classics, we have it after 5 terms. A lot of subjects have it after 3 terms. I know law has it after 2 terms. And these are called prelims or mods or something like that. And technically they also count as summative, even though you could literally get 41%, just about pass, and then get 70% in your final exams, and then get a first, because that's 70%, that's what you need for a first. He explained that to us, and he said, you're all, first of all, doing fine, you've got fine marks, but he really put it into context about how much we shouldn't stress about collections, and how it's really not even about the marks, it's just about learning to get better, to improve on the content, but also your exam technique and stuff like that. So we went through some of the questions, some of the essays, and he talked generally about, for the whole group, what he liked and what he didn't like. And in general, there was a lot of the same advice because, of course, we had all the same tutorials, or the same tutor giving different tutorials to us, but probably covered the same thing last term. But the person who was giving our tutorials has actually now left, and this new tutor who was marking our papers has kind of come back from sabbatical. So it was interesting to hear a different point of view. I'm just looking at my notes that I took about what he told us, but he said stuff about how, again, this was for us to understand our limitations with the tutor, in the sense that how we can get more out of the tutorials with our tutor, and if there's stuff in the collections that it now becomes apparent that we don't understand, that we can go to the tutor talking about that and, asking them for help. But yeah, there was also some exam technique as well, for example, about how to approach the paper as a whole, and actually that the same person, the same marker will be marking your paper. So sometimes, for example, choose essays that cover different things to show that you can have a wide understanding of the Iliad in this case. So for example, in this paper, there was a question about the gods and humans, and there was another question which was literally about power. And if you were to talk about power in terms of the difference between gods and humans question, then you might be using the same examples throughout. However, if you chose one of those essays and one of the other ones, you could demonstrate a wide variety of points and understanding and all that good stuff about the epic, the Iliad, which was really interesting again. Oxford, I'm really noticing, they really hone you in onto this kind of finesse, and how some of the exam is about understanding this, never mind the content itself. And I suppose that finesse, of course, continues into how you write an essay, how to make it flow nicely and all that stuff that you would expect of a course. So that was that. Really nice introduction to meet this tutor, and I guess for him to know us. Very useful session. And then finally, I took the walk all the way to the bus stop because I decided to go home for the weekend. I only live in London, so it's not too far, but 9 weeks in Oxford, that's 8 weeks plus a North week for exams, is stressful. So I thought I would take advantage of being in London, and I thought, it's been 3 weeks now, I'm going to go home, and I might go home in another 3 weeks again. And I think that will just allow me to reset, recharge, maybe, speak to my parents, make sure I'm in a good direction for the next 3 weeks. But I just think it'll be much more manageable. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see what I did last week, click here. But apart from that, I really look forward to seeing you in the next one.